Now it is said that a certain king had 2 slaves, the one was arrogant and strong, and the other was humble and weak. And the arrogant slave overcame the humble one, and smote him and all but slew him, and robbed him, and the king upon his throne saw them. And the king descending seized the arrogant slave, and beat him, and crushed him, and bound him in fetters, and cast him into a place of darkness. And he raised up his humble and weak slave, and embraced him, and brushed away the dust from him, and washed him, and poured oil and wine into his wounds, and set him upon his ass, and brought him into his city and set him up on his throne, and seated him on his right hand. Now the king is in truth Christ, and the arrogant servant whom I have mentioned is Satan, and the humble servant is Adam. And when Christ saw how the arrogant servant overcame the humble one, and cast him down in the dust, he came down from his throne and raised up Adam, his servant, and bound Satan in fetters in the terror of Sheol. And he seated the body of Adam upon the throne of his Godhead, and magnified him, and exalted him, and honored him. And he was praised by all the beings whom he had created, the angels and the archangels, thousands of thousands, and tens of thousands of spiritual beings. For he brought low the arrogant and raised up the humble, and reduced the arrogant to shame and exalted to honor the humble, and rejected the arrogant and loved the humble, and scorned the haughty and had pity on the lowly. He cast down the arrogant from his high place, and lifted the poor up out of the dust. He snatched away the mighty one from his honor, and raised up the poor from corruption, for with him are honor and disgrace. Whom he wisheth to honor he honoreth, and whom he wisheth to disgrace he disgraceth.